Hi, my name is Tom Welgum. Welcome to the ASUG News Studio. We are broadcasting live from ASUG Annual Conference in Sapphire Now 2015. So today we're talking with two gentlemen from Hitachi, and we've got a great story to tell for customers. This is about how Hitachi's next generation offerings really do benefit SAP customers. To my right is Greg Smith. Greg, welcome back to the studio.
Thanks, Tom. Good to see you again.
Greg, you are the VP of SAP Field Alliances at Hitachi Data Systems.
Absolutely.
Great to have you back. And Eric Yan, you are the Vice President of SAP's Solutions Marketing and Alliance at Hitachi Consulting.
That's correct.
Welcome into the studio. Glad we could have you guys here.
Thank you very much.
So let's start off with Greg. We've been hearing a lot from Hitachi around SAP, social innovation, Internet of Things. That's a hot topic here.
Topic.
Give us a quick snapshot of what Hitachi is doing in this space to really help customers out.
Yeah, so Hitachi is a very large global corporation, does lots of manufacturing, so it's over a $100 billion company. We have over 320,000 employees, manufacture everything from sensors and small devices to systems up through trains and power plants, excavators and mining, and so it's a very broad spectrum that we work in within the manufacturing industry, including IT and IT systems and analytics. And so, it's all of these companies coming together as part underneath our social innovation initiative to drive more, joint IP usage. So taking what we know as a manufacturer, putting that information together and bringing it together through data analytics and use cases, and really bringing that to our customers that are deploying and running their businesses using SAP.
I did not know you guys were that big. That is massive.
Yeah,
that's huge. So Eric, maybe I'll kick the next one to you. With all this, vertical manufacturing experience that Greg just mentioned, how is that, coming actually to SAP customers? How's that all experienced?
Great question, and it's one that we get asked a lot. And the fact that we are so large is kind of a little known fact. But the fact that we are actually playing in so many different varied industries, that's one of the things that we actually really leverage a lot to do, really differentiate ourselves in the market in terms of really building unique intellectual property that we can really kind of take to the SAP market. And so as we kind of bring that home, the different industries that we play in, be it consumer products, high tech, engineering, construction, all the various industry segments, we take that knowledge and know-how and we leverage the SAP Foundation as building blocks, and what we do is start to build out purpose-built industry verticalized solutions. And so that's quite a mouthful, but really at the end of the day is what we're trying to do is build real-world solutions for real customers.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Yeah, no, and it's really about this integration. So if you look at what's going on in the keynotes this week, around SAP, it's really moved into a very use case, vertical industry driven. So how can you really impact business outcome? Well, you have to be addressing business problems, right?
Absolutely.
And it's not really addressing the business problems in piecemeal. So there's someone working on DevOps for business process A, someone doing infrastructure someplace else. It's really providing that whole end-to-end solution to a customer where they can actually leverage it directly to really address business problems.
And I think that's great. Addressing business problems is a key thing that we've been hearing all week. So, we've also been hearing a lot about HANA. I don't know if you guys have heard about that as well.
What's that?
So, the platform we heard a lot about today in Bernd Leukert's speech, the platform has really become even more critical for SAP customers. What do you see, Greg, in that space that customers should actually know about this?
Well, I think they're hearing the message loud and clear. It's been coming over the last couple of years from SAP and from Hitachi as well. So Hitachi's a platform company. SAP has driven a great platform technology with HANA. It's really a game changer within how we're handling data and how you're accessing data. It's really the next sort of big step to get away from what was becoming a very large, complicated environments, deploying more in older RDBMS fashion. Now, bringing that together, smaller tables, unified platform that has data services, and a set of products that allow you to manage that much more as a single entity to do both transactional work and analytics work, and then on top of that, bringing in the specialist IBU solutions and so forth.
Yeah.
which Eric, you do a lot of as well, right?
Yeah, that's right. If I could add to that, I mean, one of the big things that we're doing, and to kind of keep with the whole keeping it simple theme at SAP, is really trying to abstract the complexity of SAP. Prior to joining Hitachi, I was with SAP for 8 years, and so, I think a lot of especially as SAP is trying to grow footprint, down market, into new segments, there's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt in terms of SAP. Too costly, too complex. But with taking solutions to the cloud, leveraging industry best practices, that's really changed the whole market landscape in terms of how SAP is being perceived in the market.
Absolutely, and then I'm glad you brought up analytics, because that is a key point. I mean, we hear a lot about HANA, S4 HANA, but I would say this week too, I'm hearing so much more from our members, the desire to really see those analytics, because the business users really want them. I mean, it seems like a must-have these days. Are you guys seeing that as well?
Absolutely. I mean, it's about analytics. We saw in the keynote this morning as well. It's really about how can you visualize the information you have and make decisions on it, and more importantly, not just the decision piece, but how do you execute that decision back into your business process. So it's one thing just to say, hey, I have a great look at data, this looks really interesting. How do you actually utilize that to optimize what you're doing and reach those things? And if I talked about Hitachi and what we do across all these different industries, so sort of the center piece of all of that is data and analytics. So it's all about data, Internet of Things, massive amounts of data we have in our sensors and our equipment, and bringing that together, and that just becomes the focal point of how to bring data together, Internet of Things, business, back office data, front office, customer data, doing the analytics and tying that back into the business process of the companies, as SAP does so particularly well, because they have both those pieces together with HANA.
Eric, I would just actually, I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the rapid 5-week deliverable. I think that's a really cool thing that I wanted to mention.
Yeah, just to really kind of boil it down, I mean, it's great to have all this technology, but if you're not able to drive a relevant business outcome that affects an organization in a positive way, why bother? And so that's one of the things that we've done, is really try to condense down the overall process of how to realize tangible value with SAP HANA. So what we've done with, and it was actually a result of several client engagements, is really build out a methodology that we call Live in 5 with HANA. And so what that really entails is, in 5 weeks, we can drive a very productive, production-ready use case for customers to take to the business. And so that's really materialized in some very fantastic ways. One good case in point, we helped a Midwest consumer products manufacturer really address a stock-out scenario at the stores. People will ship and make products, but in terms of what's actually getting shipped to the retailer, what's getting scanned, it's kind of, sometimes it's a black box, and it's a void that they don't really have any perspective into. But with SAP HANA, what we've been able to do is really consolidate that and aggregate all that information very quickly and timely to where all their market analysts are able to see that today. So if there's a stock out on the shelf, that's a missed opportunity. With SAP HANA, that's no longer the case.
And that's a great way to end it. I think, gentlemen, this has been very informative. I also want to thank you for being a key sponsor of the ASUG News Studio, so thanks to both of you and your company as well. We do appreciate, we know you guys are a great ASUG member and partner.
Thank you, pleasure to be here as always.
Great, well have a great rest of your week, and thanks again.
All right, thanks, Tom.
For more customer stories and great interviews with SAP partners and ASUG partners like Hitachi, please go to asugnews.com.